It's another live feed on Rashad's YouTube channel. It's like my last live feed of the day. Very pleased with how things are going today. Subscribers are going up. Appreciate it. This last one gonna be on the death certificate. Ice Cube, the second album that was released on October 29th, 1991. Obviously, Ice Cube, was doing this thing in '91. It was a big year for Ice Cube. He was in the movie, successful film Boys in the Hood. Now he makes an album called Death Certificate. Steady Mobbing was the first single, and True to the Game was the second single. This is a different kind of Ice Cube because he's dealing with stuff that was politically charged. Did drug dealing, racial profiling, right to keep and bear arms. That was a source of both critical acclaim and very controversial upon its release. And Death Certificate was a commercial success. Made his debut at #2 at the U.S. Billboard 200 chart, selling 105,000 copies in its first week, and the album was certified platinum by Recording Industry Association of America in 1991, December. So the writing and recording of Death Certificate began in late 1990 and carried on throughout most of 1991. While making the album, Ice Cube was heavily involved in other projects like Yo-Yo, debut Make Way for the Mother Load, showing cousin Del the Funky Home Safety, I Wish My Brother George Was Here. Perhaps more importantly, his film debut in Boys in the Hood, which he co-starred with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Lawrence Fishburne. And since America's Most Wanted, Ice Cube was very active in the album's production. Thanks to 12 people that are tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. 19 people are tuning in. Similar to America's Most Wanted, Ice Cube was very active in the album's production, though the overall sound was deferred. Unlike America's Most Wanted, which featured Bomb Squad's hard-edged beats, Death Certificate featured a slightly more West Coast-oriented sound in comparison with heavy use of 70s funk and soul samples. A number of other tracks also used samples taken from Zapp and Fishbone. Now, the content of this album, Death Certificate, was roughly organized as two thematic themes and elements of a larger whole. Opens with includes explanation of the death side, a mirror image of where we are today, the life side, vision of where we need to go. The first half, therefore, is complete with the tales of drug dealing, whoremongering, and violence expected of a gangster rap album in 1991. The sleeve booklet also included the following quote from Ice Cube, which showed the influence of the Nation of Islam on his work. The reason I say blank is because we are mentally dead even in 1991. We have limited knowledge of self, so it leads to a blank mentality. The best place for a young black male or female is the Nation of Islam. As soon as we are a people use our knowledge of self to our advance, we will then be able to be called blacks. Able to be called blacks. The deaf side, a bird in the hand, laments a young man slide into a life of drug dealing for economic survival. When he said in a quote in the verse, he said, "Do I have to sell me a whole lot of crack for decent shelter and clothes on my back? Or should I just wait for help from Bush or Jesse Jackson in Operation Push?" Life-size Black Korea threatens rioting and arson alongside black entrepreneurship as a response to the preponderance of Korean-owned grocery store stores in ghettos across the United States. The track was seen as a response to the killing of Latasha Hawkins, 15-year-old African-American girl who shot to death by a Korean American store owner on March 16, 1991 in an altercation over a battle of orange juice. Just the release of the track preceded the 1991 Los Angeles riots, in which many other people targeted more were of Korean descent. Ice Cube was accused of inciting racism by African Americans towards Asians. In a 2018 interview with the South Korean N.W.A newspaper, Ice Cube acknowledged that the track was insulting to Asians and spelled as a failed song, listing it alongside K Blank as a track he wanted to go back and modify something the lyrics of. Honey Little Devil was a track aimed at sexual relations between white men and black women. The producer Serge Jinx, who had worked with Ice Cube on much of the album, cited the track as an example of how he and Ice Cube went different ways, and I didn't really want to do that music like that. Thanks for the 25 people tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. The track Looks Who's Burning tells the dangers of sexual transmitted disease, infection in a low-income neighborhood, while Alive on Arrival tells the story of a young man caught in a crossfire of a gang shootout, slowly breathes to death while in a hospital waiting room being questioned by police. Colorblind reaches neutrality, a brotherhood between gangs, such as the Bloods and the Crips. Ice Cube's previous album avoided direct attacks on N.W.A. It did at the time. The death certificate contained the truth to the game and only no Vaseline or diss his former bandmates. Unlike Ice Cube, other albums, death certificate was not released in a censored version. Stay mobbing, true to the game, giving up the dugout, recorded with clean lyrics, released for airplay. This album was released on October 29, 1991. It was highly anticipated for over 1 million advance orders. The controversy of this album was that 1991 Oregon Liquor Control Commission banned a poster for St. Ives malt liquor, which Ice Cube endorsed at the time, that displayed Ice Cube holding a can of St. Ives, flashing a gang sign. In the 2006 issue of FHM, Ice Cube stated in an interview that he did not regret controversial statements made on the album. The reception of the album received critical acclaim. This album, Death Certificate, received a meager $18,000 production budget, promotion budget, and neither of its singles, Steady Mobbing and True to the Game, received much airplay, although they did receive music videos. The Source retrospectively awarded Death Certificate 4 marks in a hit list of 5 Mike hip hop classics in its 150th issue. It's the 8th in the MTV's greatest hip hop albums of all time list in 2005. It was included in the Source 100 Best Rap Albums list in 1998. It was ranked number 12 in About.com's 100 Greatest Hip Hop Albums list in 2008. Ranked number 5 in Eagle Trip's Hip Hop 25 Greatest Albums by Year, 1980 to 1998. List in 1999. Ranked number 20 in Dance Deluxe 25 Best Hip Hop Albums Records list in 2001. Ranked number 16 in Village Voice Best Albums of the Year list in 1991. Ranked number 37 in New Musical Express Best Albums of the Year list in 1991. Ranked number 8 in Hip Hop's Connection. Reader voted that the Fat 40 include Vibes 100 Essential Albums of the 20th Century 1999. And Rhapsody's list of the top folk rap albums of all time, 2010. So it made its debut at number 2 again on the Billboard charts, 200 charts, and sold 105,000 copies. And this became Ice Cube's first U.S. top 10 debut. That was also made its debut at number 1 on the U.S. top R&B hip hop albums chart. It was platinum on December 20, 1991. Stuff like that. So this is the best of Ice Cube at the time, doing this thing without actually N.W.A. That's basically it. So I'm done with this look back at this album. I may do another live feed later. May not. We'll see. But till then, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you like this commentary. Till then, talk to you soon.